Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gargoyles episode reviews. Today we're finishing up Reawakening. Grab your pitchforks and torches because it's time to jump back into the monster action. We'll learn more about Coldstone as well as the other antagonists. Goliath and the clan reach a turning point in their lives as they find their purpose. This is the last episode of Season 1, which means it has to wrap up the season in a satisfying way. As you watch this episode and read the review, or listen to it, imagine what it would be like if we'd never saw another Gargoyles episode. Imagine if there was only one season. It's okay if you need a drink afterward. What sorcery is this? Quick, according to Greg here, he and the other writers made Season 1 before they knew if the series would have another season. They had to complete the 13-episode lineup before even one episode went on air. Given the uncertainty of the show's renewal, Greg made an episode that recalls the first episodes, Awakening, 1 through 5, and titled this one Reawakening. It puts the protags and antags in positions that are satisfying to the audience and that we viewers can live with if another season didn't happen. But we are very blessed that another season did happen. It's a very long season. Alright, Coldstone stares at his wrist laser. What sorcery is this? This is a popular Gargoyles line, one that I love to use. It's ironic coming from him as he's alive due to sorcery. The trio is in a movie theater, right in the seats this time, watching Bambi, which now has explosions. Outside, they find Goliath fighting the creature. Just another day in the Gargverse NYC. Look how happy Broadway is. Brooklyn is done. Lex, what kind of expression is that? They put their frisbee golf skills to use by throwing hubcaps at Coldstone. And Coldstone has the upper hand, or maybe the underhand, on Goliath there, but he's lifting him up by the middle of his back and his back of his head, but he's not really grabbing anything. Really, Goliath, you can't just roll off of that. And hubcaps are dumb enough to distract him. Coldstone labels them all traitors. The understanding of betrayal is strong in this one. Yeah, having been coached by Demona, no doubt. Monster makers. What are the proud creators of Coldstone doing during all this? They're watching it through the camera feed from Coldstone's robotic right eye. You didn't expect David Xanatos, king of security cameras, to not have a way to observe all this. Odds are there's an override program, too. Here, Xanatos is looking at a screen that's got the gargoyles highlighted in red, as we see from Coldstone's point of view. Seems our boy is having trouble making friends, Xanatos remarks. Xanatos is taking all this in stride, as if watching a fight through the eyes of a corpse you reanimated with science and sorcery is right up there with brewing coffee on the activities of daily living list. Inside, he's got to be doing his triumph jump like in Awakening Part 2, when the clan first exploded from their stone sleep. He must feel proud of the accomplishment. Remember how it felt to pull a creepy crawly out of its mold? Yeah, same idea. I know, I'm dating myself. These young kids can't be trusted with that kind of technology. 2020 moment. Xanatos has Thalog in the works at this point. If this and the Thalog project had worked, he'd have two powerful gargoyles at his disposal. They'd both be custom creatures brought into the world through bizarre methods. One will be 100% science-derived, the other a combo of science and sorcery. I'm pretty sure Xanatos wouldn't feel comfortable about Coldstone if at least some science didn't go into the revivification. Talk about a power trip, too. With both Coldstone and Thalog, Xanatos is responsible for giving two beings life. They are constructed rather than born, however, so there's not really a father theme, even though the writers tried to push one with Thalog in Double Jeopardy. Demona isn't in this to check off another item on the list of things thought impossible. She's rationalized the aversion she should feel at piecing together a clan member and bringing him back to life. Her needs are more important than his peace. She, no doubt, believes she's doing him a favor by resurrecting him. Now he can be part of the clan again and fight the good fight. Never mind that means turning on his old clanmates. The clan turned on her first, so, in her opinion, all's fair in love and war. Side note, what is the afterlife for Gargs? Greg has always been extremely vague. We know there's some existence after death, but not exactly what it is. You also have to consider the psychological shock for Goliath. Here's his family member who was very, very dead 1,000 years ago, fighting against the clan now. Stephen King tapped this primordial fear with Pet Cemetery. Your loved one comes back, but in a hideous way, one that's dangerous to you and that takes them away from their rest. This is the same fear that made every culture have a vampire or ghoul myth. Meanwhile, Goliath demands to know why Coldstone is attacking them. Well, he was betrayed. They were all betrayed, says Goliath. Too true, says Demona, as she lands 3 seconds later, Xanatos, in exo armor, and a steel clan robot set down beside her on the building. What sorcery is this? Now Goliath knows who fed Coldstone lies, and probably where he came from. Goliath roars that he lived for his clan. Demona has the perfect line, one he just walks right into. And they died for you, smashed to dust by the humans you trusted. Now half the city is watching. Luckily, we didn't have smartphone cameras back then. This would be all over YouTube. Officer Morgan comments that there's nothing they can do unless they have a nuke. Come on, you haven't even tried an RPG launcher yet. Heck, you haven't even tried 223s. 9 mils are hardly the height of firepower, people. Demona tells Goliath that she has made her own clan. Ah, the irony. This is Demona's clan. One's a robot, one's a human and fellow antagonist, and one's a revived cyborg corpse. And you thought your family was dysfunctional. Demona wants Coldstone to kill the troublesome Goliath and his clan. Who restrains her? Xanatos. Let's not be hasty, he says. I want them alive. You'll notice that he didn't stop her way back in Awakening. It would be a waste of time to kill the gargoyles, or waste, I should say, of resources. It's much more fun to pester, manipulate, and generally toy with the gargoyles. I think Xanatos would be pretty disappointed if Goliath died. You know, kind of like how Joker would be really disappointed if Batman died. David is one of the very few antagonists in any series who has a legitimate reason for not outright killing the protags every time he has the upper hand, which is usually every single episode. There he is, doing the hand on the shoulder bit again. That's a sure sign he's trying to cajole somebody. He's got his hand on Demona's shoulder. Coldstone wonders what the point of surviving like this, referring to his physical state, is. Survival is all Demona cares about. To live is the meaning of life in her book. No purpose greater than existence is needed. Well, maybe other than wiping out humanity. Goliath tries to talk Coldstone down, noting how few gargoyles remain. What seems to make the most impact is Goliath calling him my brother. Coldstone is shaping up to be a fascinating character. He's able to think about deep concepts like the meaning of life. He knows that surviving and living are not synonymous, and he wants to belong. By this time, the news crew has arrived. Goliath thinks quickly and wisely, suggesting they move to fight elsewhere. He knows Xanatos doesn't want to see any more damage done to his city, and that's David's city. By the way, Goliath knows David can see and hear via the robots. Pretty smart for a gargoyle who just woke up a few months ago after a 1,000-year sleep. Demona wants this done here and now, but Xanatos agrees to change venues. We have, according to Greg, Goliath was using some flattery to move the fight, and it's partly why Xanatos agreed. I go with the theory that yes, Xanatos considers New York City his city. Just as Bruce Wayne owns a vast amount of Gotham, it's safe to assume David has vast holdings in the city. He lives here and does care if the place goes up in flames. Damage here is bad for business. Again, this differs from the other antagonists or villains who don't care how much havoc they wreak in their own backyard. I also doubt Xanatos wants this all over the 9 o'clock news. They all fly off, while Elisa promises to bring help. Who? The Avengers? Side note, did no one hear Xanatos' voice or hear Goliath yelling Xanatos' name? Did no one wonder about the reappearance of the gargoyle robots that we last saw causing trouble less than a month ago in The Edge? Despite their best efforts, some shaky footage does manage to make it to the news. Hudson is faithfully watching TV, so he receives the gargoyle distress signal. But if he leaves, who will guard the remote? Burn your bridges. The party moves to George Washington Bridge, which is closed for construction. Convenient. Demona and Xanatos use the element of surprise by arriving fashionably late. Demona has her beloved laser rifle. And there's an explosion that on the bridge, which is pretty much just straight concrete and snow, that kind of knocks them all back, but somehow doesn't kill them. How do lasers explode? What sorcery is this? I guess they could explode, but I just don't understand how, and it's just that little laser rifle. Demona always comes packing heat. The fight pairings tonight. Goliath versus Coldstone, Xanatos versus Broadway, Demona versus Brooklyn, Steel Clan Robots versus Lexington. Let's get ready to rumble! Goliath swears he doesn't want to hurt Coldstone as they struggle atop the bridge. Xanatos shows off his mad flight skills as he and Broadway weave between bridge cables. Brooklyn grabs Demona, making them both bounce off the bridge support and crash into the asphalt. Tackle in midair, not the best idea. Lexington tricks the robot into running into the bridge. We still have not fixed that AI bug. Xanatos shoots the bridge cables, which whip back to wrap around Broadway. This is amazing timing if I ever saw it. It's also amazing that the cables don't just tear Broadway apart. I mean, those are bridge cables. As Xanatos swoops in, laser up, Lex dives to nail him in the back. Xanatos is mainly concerned about preserving Goliath, but I think he wants the entire clan alive if possible. After all, he didn't tell Owen, yeah, okay, nail everybody with that sledgehammer, except for Goliath. That's a really cool shot there of him flying with the laser out. I'm not sure what David's plan was with Broadway. It's a moot point, though, because Xanatos plows into scaffolding, because, Lex just hit him in the back. The crash damages the armor and forces David to make the big reveal. He yanks his helmet off in front of a stunned Brooklyn and Lexington. The clan hasn't laid eyes on Xanatos face-to-face since mid-January. That meeting did not go well. This meeting isn't going any better. Xanatos is quite intimidating when he's angry. You can see in the gargoyles' faces that they're shocked and a bit intimidated. They remember, and his armor's kind of smoking there. They remember how the red robot fought in The Edge. There's also a psychological blow here. Xanatos has armor that can fly, shoot lasers, and give him super strength. Nuts. Before Xanatos and the boys can get farther with the confrontation, Goliath and Coldstone take a tumble off the top of the bridge and into the icy river. They sink, Goliath losing consciousness. Hudson's voice echoes, talking about breathing the air. Do you really need to be reminded to breathe, Goliath? Glad somebody decided to waterproof those cybernetic enhancements. There they are, sinking. That is one deep river. Coldstone watches Goliath sink below him. Then the abomination reaches out and grabs Goliath. Coldstone's jetpack is still working. Somehow, I'm not sure how a jet engine functions under the water, but whatever. He carries them back to the bridge. What sorcery is this? Brooklyn and Lex rush over to Goliath's side. Saving Goliath has earned Coldstone a place among them. Xanatos stands apart, watching with intensity and fascination. It seems he's studying the behavior of the clan. There he is, still looking proud, even though his armor was a little bit banged up. Suddenly, everyone ignores the antagonist who was just attacking them. It's like nobody wants to play today. There's a close-up there of him. There's no anger here, just interest and a little annoyance. 2020 moment. In Hunter's Moon, Xanatos will see Coldstone's rescue and raise him by rescuing the whole clan. Perhaps it was this moment that helped him see putting them in his debt would gain their allegiance. Demona is sick of this nonsense. Coldstone needs to get his game on and kill Goliath. This isn't how it works. This isn't how any of this works. She gave Coldstone a new life, a clan, and here he is betraying her. He's no better than Goliath. If Coldstone wants to join Team Loser, fine. Demona will do what most other villains won't. Just shoot her enemies. But Coldstone throws himself in front of the laser to protect Goliath. He plummets over the edge and into the water. Goliath dives in. Well, now they're all back in the water again. Good thing Cold doesn't bother our purple chickadee. The same laser that explodes the top of the bridge a moment ago now just short circuits Coldstone's mechanical bits. Interesting setting to choose, Demona, as in the lower power setting. There he is. It looks like it just sort of, I don't know, reflects off his chest armor. Xanatos steps up again, shooting the rifle out of her hand with his gauntlet laser before she can finish the clan off. He wants them alive. He doesn't get farther, though, before Coldstone interposes. Coldstone asks what the good of surviving is without purpose. Demona doesn't need a real reason. Survival is enough. There is a picture of his rifle hitting her laser gun. Nice job eyeballing that shot. Remember, he doesn't have his targeting system in his helmet. There he is, still got his laser on her. One antagonist fights another to save the protagonist. Just another day in the unique world of gargoyles. I wonder, what does she intend to do after she kills all the humans? If gargoyles protect, it seems they require not only something to protect, but something to protect their territory and people from. I don't know, maybe they'll just go to war with each other like humans do. But I doubt it. The cavalry, in traditional form, arrives late. It's Elisa, Hudson, and Bronx. Wow, you're really bringing the heavy artillery there. Xanatos turns to find Bronx lunging at him. The beast pins him on his back. See, this is why I go for shoulder-mounted weapons like War Machine has. That wrist laser isn't helping. Or maybe just keep a tennis ball handy. It's a picture of Bronx pinning Xanatos to the ground. You can really see how big Bronx is compared to your average human. 2020 moment. In Leader of the Pack, Bronx will chew off Coyote's face when the robot is in the exact position Xanatos is here. Bronx knows not to turn humans into chew toys, though. Elisa draws her weapon and starts running her mouth. It's over, Xanatos. She turns her back for 5 minutes, and this is what she finds. It is kind of a funny scene. It's like they all got caught misbehaving. Got Demona kind of surprised on the right. You got the trio on the left. You got in the center. You got Xanatos on his back with the dog Goyle on top of him. Come on, girl. He just saved their butts from Demona. But the dog Goyle tackled him. Before he did, he was probably formulating his Xanatos tag ending. This is too late if you wanted to help the clan. Yeah, Xanatos already did that. Also, do you think he's really worried about your gun? He's in full armor, meaning only a headshot will affect him. I highly doubt Elisa is capable of shooting him in the head when he's no threat, lying on his back with Bronx on top of his chest. If she did, it would be career suicide for her. You can also bet Owen would see her behind bars if he took his last breath, or failing that, he might just have her killed. Without David to rein Owen in, the security chief is ruthlessly efficient in achieving his goals. I don't think so, Xanatos says as he guns his jetpack, clearing him of Bronx. Then he grabs Demona and makes good his escape. Why he didn't do this earlier, when Bronx was on him, I don't know. Perhaps he just wanted an excuse to watch the goings-on a bit longer. Let's just check something. Okay, yeah, right here. Alright, his right side, Xanatos' right side, is facing Elisa. So, in theory, he might be able to get a few laser shots off at her if he had to. Oh, Elisa, always underestimating people. Protectors of the Isle. Goliath comes up empty-clawed. The clan explains to Elisa that Coldstone was a brother. He looks good with wet hair there. The clan climbs to the top of the bridge. What do they protect? They wonder. Hudson, not the grandest thinker, asserts they protect the clock tower. He's missing the fact that it's above a cop shop and so needs little protecting. Goliath is the visionary. He announces their purpose. They protect Manhattan and all who live here. 2020 moment. All who live there? Yes. This will include House Xanatos during the gathering. Elisa wonders if there's anything Goliath needs. A detective is his answer. It's a callback to Awakening Part 3 when he first meets her and she explains what a detective is. Got a really beautiful shot there of the city all lit up and they're on top of the bridge looking at it. A new chapter will open for both the clan and New York City. Final thoughts. Heck of a season ender. How will what Demona has done, i.e. bringing back a long-dead member of the clan, affect Goliath's view of her? Brooklyn hates her already for betraying him in temptation, but perhaps Goliath still harbors hope for her. People don't look kindly on necromancers, though. Gargoyles don't look kindly on sorcerers to begin with. She's both. At this point, Goliath likely thinks Demona is beyond all help, lost in the land of crazy. Yeah, he'd be right. Coldstone is on the bottom of the river. Will Xanatos fish him out? It's a lot of tech to let lie. You'd think he'd at least be interested in the scientific value of a creature that sorcery reanimated. We'll see, I guess. Is Coldstone really dead? Again? Dead? What about Demona? What's her next move? She's tried manipulation, sorcery, and now necromancy. Yeah, so what did you think of the episode? Did you expect to see Coldstone again? In what way? Comment. You can do that here or on the blog. I really love this season. I mean, just think of all the things the writers achieved, and the just wonderful stories and character development, action, excitement, twists and turns. Just a phenomenal series so far, and it just gets better. So, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, do all the things. And we'll see you in the next one.